May I have your attention, please?
We are controlling transmission. There is nothing wrong.
The Horror Chronicles.
Whether it's a ghost, spirit, or entity, they all feed on it. That's the whispering, the footsteps, the feeling of another presence.
You won't have a chance to change your minds later, because there'll be no way to get out.
We have such sights to show you.
They will say that I have shed innocent blood. Nope. What's blood for? If not for shedding.
Have you checked the children?
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Boogeyman's real.
That is better.
They're coming to get you.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Horror Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me, as always, JT.
Yeah, I'm here.
Dude,
we're frustrated. We've been having some major technical difficulties today.
man, we just spent an hour and a half trying to get this done.
It's because I am such a doofus.
Nah, dude, it is what it is.
Download this program. Uninstall that program. Why is it not working?
Oh, the joys of just starting off
We almost threw the
podcasting.
computer out the window.
It's all good. We're here now, though. And this is
So here we are.
Yeah, this is our first official episode of 2019.
Yay! Happy New Year.
Happy's New Year's. And we're going to do an episode that you guys probably thought you wouldn't hear from us, but we're going to do an episode on UFOs and aliens.
And we're back.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I know what you guys are thinking, right? Aliens. I thought this was a horror show. Well, we are, and believe me, there are some alien stories that, if you really think about it, are quite terrifying. You know, I want you guys to think about it. Just imagine yourself.
You're taking. Close my eyes and imagine.
Yes. You're taking your nightly walk. You know. It's nice out, nice breeze, you're taking your walk. And all of a sudden, about halfway through your walk, you start feeling this like tingly sensation all through your body. You think someone's watching you or something. And you keep walking, thinking nothing of it. But then again, you really start to feel this like electricity going all through your body from your feet to your head.
The hairs are standing up on the back of my neck.
And then all of a sudden, boom, a big flash of light.
Boom!
Comes right over top of you. And you're gone. You wake up, freezing, you're naked, laying on a freaking gurney, strapped down.
Something hanging out of your... Oh,
you're dizzy. You know, you're kind of out of it. And then you see them come in the room, and the real terror begins.
Yeah.
See, now if you think about that, just the way I look at it with as far as like UFOs and alien goes, as far as it being scary, you got no control. If it's real, and if what a lot of people think is real, I mean, you really got no control.
You really don't. It's kind of weird because a lot of the stories that you read about this, the people have actually lost time.
Yep.
And they just remember fragments of it. Sometimes they don't remember anything. but it's the time loss that kind of freaks you out.
Yeah.
I was watching a story about a woman from the UK that her and her boyfriend were sitting outside. They were, having drinks. They had, just had dinner, having a good time. Something flew over the top of the house, and she stood up to look at it, and he said, well, I'm going to go inside and get us a couple drinks. And then he came back out and was like, where have you been? And she's like, what do you mean, where have I been? I've been standing right here. And he's like, no, you've been gone for like 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. And she was like, you're crazy. I've been standing in the same spot. I haven't ever moved.
That's crazy.
And he's like, look at your watch, because he's like, I've been looking for you for 45 minutes. I thought you just left.
Wow. See, that's crazy. And I know there's a UFC fighter, one of the best UFC fighters ever, George St. Pierre, GSP.
Okay.
And there were people who gave him crap. He went on Joe Rogan podcast and was talking about basically the same thing, how he was missing time. So he's always scared of aliens. And that's what he said. And there's spots where he's missing time, like an hour or so, 2 hours, But for me, the scariest part is not having control. I mean, think about it, It's one thing for you to be, if you're in a haunted house or something, you can get out. You can leave. For the most part, it's going to be at the house and you're done. But in a situation like this, there's nothing you can do.
Right.
They got you, and they're going to do whatever they want. And for me, that's one of the most scariest things, not being able to have control of the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, I'm just going to say this right off the bat. Never been big into UFOs and alien abductions or anything like that, and there's a lot of times I look at these stories and I try to keep an open mind, but it's like, really, dude? Or, what really happened there, and of course these people, they have no idea what happened to them. But they just, they're just telling what they remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, I have problems, I don't know, coming to terms with it sometimes. Now, while I'm talking about this, I really want you guys to understand my point of view on aliens and UFOs. We are on this tiny planet in the middle of the Milky Way. Well, we're not in the middle of it. We're off on one band of, out on one arm of the Milky Way. It would really be arrogant of me or anybody to think that we are the only intelligent life in the universe.
Exactly.
I wholeheartedly believe that there is something out there. Have they been here? Probably. But why? Why would they come here? You know? Our civilization is not... If they are coming here, okay? I kind of want to get into this. If they are coming here, their civilization is way more advanced than ours.
Yep.
Because we would not, at this time in our intellectual being, don't have the capacity to travel through
that far,
intergalactic space.
Yeah. I'm
going to get a little scientific on you here, just to throw some numbers out. I have been fascinated by outer space since I was a little kid. In fact, when I was really young, when I grew up, I wanted to be an astronomer. It was always one of my favorite subjects in school. So I'm just going to throw a few numbers out at you that are crazy. Okay, so do you know what the closest star is to the planet Earth?
Well, as far as go ahead.
Okay, well, the closest star to the planet Earth it's actually a cluster of stars, and it's called Alpha Centauri. It is 4.6 light years away from us. You think light year sounds like, okay. What I want you people to understand is light travels at a speed of 186,000 miles per second. Okay? So a light year is how long it would take an atom of light, how far it will travel in 1 year. If you put that in terms of mileage, and you can calculate it out, it comes to about 5.9 trillion miles. So that means that Alpha Centauri is 4.6 light years away. So you're talking 30 billion miles away.
Trillion.
Or I'm sorry, trillion. 30 trillion miles away. Or, roughly.
Yeah, roughly.
At our current technology, if we got in a rocket ship today and flew to Alpha Centauri, it would take us roughly 137,000 years to reach it.
That's crazy.
That's a big distance to travel. And that's our nearest star.
Yeah.
Now, we're not talking planets within our solar system.
Yeah.
We can get to those.
Mm-hmm.
But 137,000 years to get to the nearest star. Okay, well, we all know our sun is a star. There are stars out there that don't have any planets. There are stars that have planets. Okay, so if it takes us 137,000 years to travel to the nearest star, it's going to take them at least that to travel to us.
At our... Yeah.
At our current technology.
Yeah.
Okay? Our current technology is somewhere around 18,000 miles per hour is what we can fly through space. Now, I say that. The Voyager is right now traveling about 32,000 miles per hour. But it is in deep space. Mm-hmm. And it is unmanned, and it's just flying. Okay? Yeah. The fastest ever recorded was 24,000 miles per hour, and that was by Apollo 11 that went to the moon. And it was, I don't want to say
allegedly.
I don't want to say it was a fluke, but it was just the highest speed that they reached, because of escape velocity and all of that. We're not going to get real scientific here on this, because I could talk for hours about this stuff because I just find it fascinating. But when you really think of it in terms like that, these beings, if they are coming to visit us, are super, super advanced.
Oh yeah.
Okay. In fact, the only way that they could really do it in our mind and our way of thinking, if you get into astrophysics and all this stuff, we've proved through science that nothing travels faster than the speed of light. Well, if it takes light 4.6 years to get to Alpha Centauri, we just cannot do it. Okay, so there are some theories out there that if they are coming to Earth, they're doing it in ways that we don't, that we don't know about. They suspect that there's possible wormholes that they're traveling through, that they can get through space faster. Maybe they have a way of creating these wormholes. Maybe they don't. One of the biggest and most interesting ones to me is the multi-universe.
Yeah.
That they are able to traverse from dimension to dimension.
Dimensions, yeah.
It makes a whole lot more sense than traveling all that distance.
Which is kind of funny, too, because that's what they say about Bigfoot, is that he's an interdimensional traveler.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, as far as space goes, I think space is awesome to learn about, but, with the alien thing, it's weird for me, because, like I said, that's what's super scary about it, is the fact that you don't really have much control of it. Because, there's a really cool story about a guy it's well known, it's documented, and it's happened to a guy named Frederick Valentik. So at 20 years old, Frederick was a fighter pilot. On October 1978, while he was flying over the Bass Straits, which is just outside of Tasmania, there would be something happen to him that would leave people guessing and scratching their heads forever. He went missing, basically, but he had some transmissions between him and air traffic control. He had sent a message to air traffic control saying that there was something flying over top of him, and it was toying with him. He said it seemed like it was toying with him, playing a game. So they sent that out back and forth, and they were talking to air traffic control. And now he's a military pilot. This is all documented and everything, so you can look it up. Basically, he said the thing was toying with him and everything. And then the last thing he said before no one's ever heard of him since, was that he said whatever he saw wasn't an aircraft that he's ever seen. And then he's never been the plane, the jet, him never been found ever.
Right, and he's he's military, so he should know what's out there.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, fighter pilots, it's just so basically this guy just up and went missing. So if you go with the UFO thing, you got to think about that. Like, you're gone forever. Right. There's nothing, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You're just stuck in it.
If they want to keep you.
And this is also on Unsolved Mysteries, too. This case was on Unsolved Mysteries.
Okay.
So you can look it up on YouTube. I watched the Unsolved Mystery episode on it. And then you got the people talking about probing and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a couple of types of aliens that are extraterrestrials. We want to be PC. That people talk about that are more hostile, I guess you would say, or whatever.
Right.
Like the Greys. Everybody's probably heard of the Greys. But they're gray-skinned humanoids, usually 3 to 4 feet tall, bald, with like black almond-shaped eyes. No nose, just like slits, just the nostrils.
Right.
And no ears. They got like 3 or 4 fingers, including their thumb. Then you got like the reptilians that people talk about. Lizard people.
The lizard people. Wasn't that in Star Trek? Didn't he to have sex with a lizard?
That live underground.
Yeah.
But, to believe it or not, the ones who are associated with the old anal probing is the little green men. The Martians.
Little green Mars attacks.
Yeah. They're the ones that are have a lot to do with, the probing. Yeah. So, I mean...
let's probe this guy for questions.
And it's crazy. It's crazy. They made some pretty good movies, like we talked about.
There's been some great movies that have come out, and then there's been some other ones. Mars Attacks is a great movie. It's a funny movie to
really
watch.
Super funny.
But then there's some others that are just really creepy.
Creepy, man. Yeah, The Fourth Kind.
The Fourth Kind, yeah, with Mila Jovovich.
The creepiest to me that I've seen so far as alien movies go. Mm-hmm. That movie was really, really good.
Yeah. I tried to find that here recently, and really odd, I couldn't find that movie anywhere.
Yes, the aliens are on to us.
Yeah.
That's why we had so many problems. It took us an hour and a half to get this thing going.
Yeah.
But
thought they were trying to stop us.
And you got Signs.
Government conspiracy.
Yeah. Signs, which is another great one. As
Mel
far
Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix.
Creepy movies go, that was a really good one.
Yeah. Fire in the Sky was a big one.
Yeah.
That was, of course, based off a true story.
Uh-huh.
About some loggers in the woods that, one of them happened to be abducted. And when he came back, he just wasn't the same person when he came back.
Yeah. And man, I've seen one thing that really had that, like, and I was young. I was probably 7 or 8, right? And this happened up in where I used to live, up in Winfield, Missouri. There's a straight stretch there. I can't remember if that's 60 or what that is, or 40. But anyway, it's right there down by the river bottoms. And it was Halloween night, believe it or not. And we had just, got done trick-or-treating and stuff. And we were heading home. Well, it's this long, super long straight stretch. And there's probably 5 or 6 cars that pulled over on the side of the road. Because it's all flat farmland down there, you know? And there was a house in the center of this farmland. The guy owned it, you know, probably had 200, 300, 400 acres. And it was all flat farmland. You see his house dead center. It's October. There's no plants or nothing up, you know what I mean? And there was this thing hovering over his house. And there was like 5 cars behind us. Everybody was pulled over.
Everybody was pulled over, so multiple people
seen it. I remember that because we had a station wagon, and we were in the back of the station wagon. We never got out.
Okay.
But my dad and my older brother and his friend did. And they were standing there talking to other people, and that thing was over the house out there, and then all of a sudden it just was gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, the only experience I ever had, and it was here recently. We live in mid-Missouri, so I was driving down the highway, and okay, so you know where the just before you get to 63, you know, in Lowe's and all that stuff,
yep.
just down from there, there's a little go-kart track.
Yes.
Right there on 44,
yes,
you know, and it's got the go-kart up on the thing. So anyway, I'm driving home one night. It was during the winter, because usually when I come home from work, it's still light out. Well, it was dark this night, so it had to have been during the winter. And this was just a couple years ago that this happened to me. So I'm driving along, and in that area somewhere, I could see some lights in the sky. And it's out the passenger side of my window, so I'm kind of leaning over trying to look out the window to see what it is. And all I can see is like this big black mass in the sky. It was really dark that night. All I could see was this big black mass in the sky, and there were like 3 sets of lights on this thing. And you would think, okay, it was probably an airplane or whatever. Well, it wasn't that high up in the air. I mean, it was just kind of hovering there. And I couldn't really see to like make form of it. It kind of looked like it was maybe triangular shaped.
Mm-hmm.
But it was weird. I could see the sets of lights, and then it was like a black void in between them. You know, so I know there had to have been something there. If this thing was, you know, I don't know what it was, but it was probably the size of a football field.
Wow.
And it was, I didn't pull over. There was a lot of traffic on the highway. I don't know if anybody else saw it or not. I really don't know what it was. Now, could it have been
something from Fort Wood?
Something from Fort Wood out there? Hell, it may have been a stealth bomber just sitting there, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know what it was, but it didn't look right. That's all I know. And that's the only thing I've ever seen. You know, like I said, I'm not a big UFO guy or anything.
I've seen a lot of stuff in the sky, but
I have too.
You don't know.
You dismiss a lot of it, you know.
Yeah, we live. I mean, we like you said, we live out in the country, kind of where you know we can see the stars pretty well, and
we live pretty close to the fort, and we see jets a lot.
Yeah.
Going by. You know, we hear sonic booms all the time because they're out. You know.
It's crazy though, because like I remember sitting with my buddy. We always sit on the back porch and just chill out and talk, you know, especially during summertime. It's real nice, you know, and we're just sitting there talking, and it happens all the time. Like I'll see something, and like it's weird because it'll like fade in real bright and then fade back out.
Yeah.
You know, as it goes across, and then it fades out into nothing, which who knows what it is? I don't know, you know, but like,
could it be a meteor? You know, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no telling.
But as far as the aspect of it goes, you know, if you want to just look into it, you know, there's a lot of creepy stories about aliens. And stuff like that.
Well, what about the people that like have stuff implanted in their bodies?
Yeah.
And they have no idea where it came from.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've read some stories about that where, you know, these people wake up in the morning and they've got some new scar on their arm or something, and then come to find out they'll go to the doctor and have it x-rayed and there's something in there.
Yeah.
You know, where the hell did that come from?
It's crazy, you know, and like I said, in that situation, you don't know where it came from. So guess what? You have no idea what they did.
Right.
So it's like you got no control. And that's the main thing. I mean, I want people to think about that. You know, there was what was their name? There's a couple, and they're pretty famous in the the extraterrestrial world or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Their name is Clayton and Donna Lee.
Okay.
And
I have heard their names before.
Yeah, they've had a lot of abduction. Like, Clayton Lee had, like, a ton of, like, since he was a kid, like a child. But, they've had several abductions in their life, they've said.
Mm-hmm.
But see, what's scary about with Donna Lee is she claims that the aliens took her fetus out of her body.
That's trippy.
So, I'm not a mother, but all the mothers out there listening, or women listening, just think about that. You're having a baby, and you're all happy, and then all of a sudden, something comes, and you have no idea what's going on. You wake up, and your baby's gone out of your belly.
Yeah, where'd it go?
You know what I mean? If you just open your mind up and, just listen to people, that's terrifying.
Yeah. And that's another thing. When we started talking about doing this episode, I started watching a few more things and paying a little more attention to some of the stuff I was watching. And I ran across this guy. His name's George Knapp. He is a journalist, and he's an older guy. I think he's in his 60s now or whatever. But he was an award-winning journalist. Worked for a few magazines, writing articles, and a few newspapers and stuff. And I think he was even an anchorman at one time. But he got into chasing UFOs about 20, 25 years ago. Watching some of his stuff, if you ever get the chance, you should check him out. You can find some of his videos and stuff on YouTube. Very smart guy, but when you listen to him talk, you can tell he's not full of crap, Yeah. He's not one of those guys that's saying, "Oh yeah, I've seen this and I've been abducted" or anything. He's not like that. He's just been recounting the stories and stuff. He did a really big thing on the Skinwalker Ranch, which we're going to do an entire episode on that.
Yeah, for sure.
But one of the things the reason why I brought him up is if these aliens are abducting people, they're not really hurting them. When you get into aspects of, say, Skinwalker Ranch, okay, you hear all the time about cattle mutilations and stuff like that. Well, they're not coming here and mutilating people.
Yeah.
You never hear about people mutilations, in these alien instances. Okay. Skinwalker Ranch, there were numerous animals, cattle that had been mutilated. They were even finding cats and dogs and skunks and just other kinds of animals that were mutilated. And what was interesting about that place was all these mutilated corpses that they found on the farm, there was no blood.
Yeah.
It's like either something happened and mutilated these things with surgical precision and collected all the blood there on the spot, or they were taken somewhere else, mutilated, and then brought back.
It's
why would a human do that? And a lot of the stuff they were talking about on that, and this was George Knapp talking about it, is humans couldn't have done the precision work that was done with these animals.
Yeah, especially that. I know there's stories of, like, there's not a whole lot of time, like, on the Skinwalker Ranch, like, the guy's like, yeah, I was right there, and then maybe in a 10 minutes time, I was there, and it was the cow I just seen was like this completely.
Yeah. There was a really cool story in there about the people that own the ranch, and we're talking about a 500-acre ranch in Utah. If you haven't heard about it, you might go and look it up, but we're going to do a whole episode on it and get really in depth with it because it's very interesting. A lot more stuff going on there than just UFO stuff. But anyway, the owner, they had this I want to say a trailer, but it was more like a shed that they had. He had these 4 bulls that were very expensive bulls, and his wife and him had to go on the other side of the farm, and they were leaving these bulls there, and they'd already had a bunch of stuff happen, some animals go missing or whatever. And he told his wife on the way over there that hey, I would hate it if something would ever happen to these bulls because it may put us under because we've spent so much money on them. They were gone for a half hour. Came back, and these bulls are gone. All 4 of these bulls. They end up finding all 4 of these bulls still alive, jam-packed like sardines inside this shed.
Yeah.
He's like, there is no way these bulls could have gotten in there on their own. They wouldn't have. He said, and for somebody to actually put them in there would have taken a lot longer than a half hour.
And a lot more than one person.
And a lot more than one person. And we're talking about bulls. We're not talking cows that are, cows can be mean, but bulls are vicious sometimes.
Well, not only that, heavy.
Yes. Oh, yeah, very heavy.
I mean, dude. Yeah, it's going to take a lot more.
What's a bull weigh?
Probably 2,500 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 1,500
to 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a farmer. So I'm a metalhead.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, yeah. So like I said, it's just an aspect of it that's, for me, that's what's more creepy is that, 1 second you're there, 1 second you're not.
Right.
And you got no control. Right. You know what I mean? And
what happened to you?
Yeah, what happened to you? So it's like that to me is scarier than putting yourself into, because I don't really get scared of paranormal stuff. I could walk into a haunted place and be cool, but I'm putting myself there.
Yeah.
I got control. I can leave when I want, but I think people, if they really stop and think about it, will see how creepy that is. Just not having So,
So let's talk about the government for a minute, okay?
Oh shit! Here we go.
Well,
no, I got you.
No. What I want to talk about is let's talk about the famous. Let's talk about Roswell and Area 51. Here recently, Area 51, the government has finally, within the past, I think it's 5 or 6 years, have finally,
said it's there.
Yeah, they finally acknowledged that Area 51 does exist.
Yeah.
Now, they won't tell you what's there.
Or what it's for, yeah.
I did watch a little story on that the reason why, okay, so that is part of a base there, okay? Yep. And it's set up in different areas. Well, Area 51 is one of the biggest areas there, okay? When you look at it on a map, it's plotted out, and it's the biggest area.
Yeah.
Out of the other 50-something areas they have, Area 51 is the biggest plot of land. Well, Area 51, the military used that area to test fly planes, and they also used it for bombing exercises.
Yeah, I was going to say, they do a lot of nuclear tests and stuff out in that area.
So what interests me so much about it is why did they want to hide Area 51 so much from the public? Why did they not want us to know about it?
Yeah,
what's going on there? I mean, if I know the military is a top secret entity, I know that. Okay, if it truly is just for military purposes, why didn't they just tell the public it's a top secret military base?
Yeah,
instead of actually denying that it existed for over 70 years.
Yeah, and, like you said, I know they're secretive and stuff. I got a lot of family that's in the military and stuff, and I got some friends that are deep in the military and the government. Yeah, and they're retired now, but they were deep in it. But they do a lot of things because like you said, they got to keep it under wraps because they don't want to. I mean, think about it. When that first happened, how are they going to tell the United States citizens that, hey, we're testing nuclear bombs on our soil?
Right.
Yeah. But now,
I get that.
Oh no, but for me now that I
get that. But they said for years it didn't even exist.
Yes, that's the other half. The other half for me is the way I look at everything. I look at everything with common sense and ask all questions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, that's fine if that's the case. Then why didn't you guys, like you said, why didn't you guys just say, hey, top secret military stuff, we're making, there's planes, there's stuff we're doing, we can't let no one know about, blah, blah, blah. Right.
The public would have accepted that. But then again, it would have gotten out all over the world.
But then you got
United States military is working on top secret
planes or whatever. Aircraft. Which is fine. But then, there's a lot of people who worked. Here's what gets me. You'll get these, what they call whistleblowers, right? And then they say, these whistleblowers are proven to be in the military. Let's just say they're scientists.
Mm-hmm.
The government hired them because they are the best of the best. And they believe in them. They go by their science. They believe in them. They're the best of the best. But if one of them comes out and says, look, this is what we have. Oh, he's a kook. He's a crack. We don't know. He's crazy. He just don't know what he's talking about. He's a crazy guy. Okay, but you hired him for 15, 20 years because he was the best and the brightest.
Right.
They're so quick to throw people away, and people just overlook. I look at everything with common sense. I ask all questions, you know what I mean? And they're just so quick to just dismiss these people who for years were their top scientists. But then it comes out, oh yeah, later on, oh no, he was a crack, he was an alcoholic, he did this, he did that, blah. Yeah. So, it goes both ways.
Well, and some of these people disappear.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. People are like, oh, well, if there's really this, then how come there's people that don't come out? There are people that come out and talk about it. They either A, die, or B, just disappear in the middle of nowhere and no one knows ever sees them again. Right. Happens all the time.
And I'm not trying to start a conspiracy argument here.
Oh, no. I could have a whole other podcast.
These are interesting aspects of, our government, why they're doing
something
this.
Cool that you need to look at too is
look how we're going to get visited by the men in black here.
Look how far our technology jumped from 47 to 50 to now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And look how much stuff came out after the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And just boom, boom, boom.
Did something actually land there and somehow we reverse engineered it? And
because think about it, man. I know that America's the melting pot, and we have all kinds of people that come over here to live and do this and that and stuff, but look how far advanced we are compared to almost every other nation in the world.
Well, some of them.
But look how young we are.
Yeah.
We're only 300 years old.
Yeah.
As far as the country goes. And look at the jump from technology from the 50s to now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Reverse engineering, all that stuff they talk about. So,
right.
Okay,
so while we're talking about this, I just want to mention the president, okay? No, I'm not talking about Donald Trump or Obama or any specific president.
The office of the president.
The office of the president, okay? So imagine that. You're elected president, and then you're handed all this information that you've got to keep secret. Or, you can't tell anybody about, we've all seen on TV, all these files that come out, and there'll be lines blacked out in them and stuff. Well, the president gets to see all of that.
Redacted.
So, redacted. That's a good word there, buddy.
That's what they are.
Good word.
Redacted forms.
So, I just find it, concerning but interesting, that they have all this information and they know what's going on, but they don't want to tell the public. Now, why do they not want to tell the public? A lot of that's probably got to do with they don't want to create a panic.
Mass hysteria,
because we all know how that goes. One person thinks one thing, they tell somebody else, and then they tell somebody else, and then all of a sudden it bleeds through to, oh my God, the sky is falling.
Yeah.
Chicken Little. Okay?
Yeah.
It just causes mass hysteria. So I can really see them wanting to keep that quiet.
Yeah, and the whole they're keeping Flat Earth quiet.
Yeah, well, one of the funniest things I've seen is from the Flat Earth Society that says they have members all around the globe.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Really?
Yeah, I love everybody, guys. If you're flat earther, it's cool. Whatever. Everybody believe what you want. I don't care, really.
Yeah, everybody has their own beliefs, but I'm here to tell you the Earth is not flat.
I think it's in the hexagon.
It may be. It's definitely in trouble.
But yeah, you're right, though. It's like, I bet whenever, because that'd be the first thing. If I become president, the first thing I'm asking, where's the aliens?
Yeah.
Where's the bodies at, And I'm sure what happens is, like with any president, you get in there and they say, okay, take you in a room and say, okay, this is what's going on, and this is what's really going to happen.
Right.
I don't think the presidency the president has that much, doesn't have as much power as you think.
As most people think he does.
Mostly a figurehead. Right. But, or a scapegoat or whatever they want to do with the person, to be honest with you.
The scapegoat's pretty good.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Because, if the, Congress or the Senate or Freemasons or whoever the hell is controlling everything, the Illuminati, whatever, the president's the one that's going to take the fall for it.
Yeah, and as far as aliens go, guys, we won't get too much more into the scientific stuff of it, but it's actually pretty cool if you want to look into it. Or if you guys want us to, let us know, give us some feedback, and we'll talk about whatever, really. Yeah. We love talking about horror, paranormal, all that stuff, but we'll talk about whatever.
Yeah, this just kind of came up, we were just kind of bullshitting one day and said, let's talk about aliens. And
yeah, because there's some creepy aspects to it.
There are.
And which to me is the major thing. That's the one thing that does creep me out.
And we did tell you people that we're going to talk about all kinds of different stuff. So
yeah, so look into it, because there's actually a lot of cool stuff. As Eddie Bravo would say. I don't know if you know who Eddie Bravo is, but Eddie Bravo would say, look into it.
Johnny Bravo is.
Look into it, man. Eddie Bravo is a cool dude. He's a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu.
Right on.
He's a freaking hardcore conspiracy theorist guy.
Yeah.
Some say he's a flat earther, but I think he just kind of like the...
If you have any interest on the subject at all, there's some really cool people out there that you can listen to. The George Knapp guy is and he's very easy to listen to. Pretty informative. It's pretty cool. I just watched a thing with him. It was like a 2-hour... it wasn't really a Q&A. It was a presentation that he was doing at a UFO conference in Oregon last year. Pretty neat stuff. He talked a lot about Skinwalker Ranch. Because he has... That's probably the thing that he's done the most research on.
Yeah, and that place is cool. Like I said, we're going to do a whole episode on that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a really cool place. At least it's got a lot of cool stories too.
And if you're interested, I know I gave you a little breakdown about science. I am not a scientist by no means, and I don't know everything, but I have an interest in it. So Neil deGrasse Tyson is another one. Mm-hmm. He's probably one of the most famous astrophysicists, on the planet. Guy is very smart, and he's very fun to listen to. He did a great series called Cosmos, which was actually a reboot from the old Cosmos, which was back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, I think it was. Anyway, cool series. They ended up taking it off the air for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. But just open up your mind a little bit. As far as the hardcore horror fans go, just open your mind. Watch the movie The Fourth Kind. It's creepy, dude. Yeah. Super creepy. Sure. That movie is super, super creepy.
Another one that's came out here recently, and it's got the Carrie Russell girl in it, is Dark Skies.
Yeah, Dark Skies, dude. That's a great movie.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's another one. That's a really good movie.
Yeah.
So just try to open up your mind a little bit if you're.
It's a strange subject. It really is, and we just kind of wanted to throw something out there.
We'll talk about everything. We don't care, but we like to keep it around. We try to bring if we're going to talk about something, we try to talk about the creepy aspect of it. Yeah. And to me, like I said, I'm not worried. I'm not scared of any of that paranormal stuff. Like, I love it. It gives me adrenaline. Mm-hmm. But not having control of my situation and not being able to stop whatever's trying to do something to me. Yeah. That's something that's beyond creepy to me.
Loss of control is one of the biggest fears for most people.
Exactly. So, just open up your mind a little bit. And
I'm afraid of spiders, but, that's another story.
I'm afraid of my wife.
I'm afraid of your wife, too.
But anyway, just open up your mind, folks. Just kind of try to see I like to try to find the creepy in everything. So, You know, there's little aspects of it.
Because he's a creepy bastard.
I'm a creepy fuck. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to call this one a little shorter than usual just because it's, you know, not really our forte. But
no, it's not. I mean, we rambled on about some stuff and, yeah.
You know, new year, new us. We're going to plan on a lot of good things this year, guys. We're really pushing. We're working hard. You know, we got full-time jobs.
Sorry the episodes haven't been coming out. You know,
the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've actually skipped a couple of weeks. We've both been really busy and just, you know, we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. We wanted to start our new year fresh and put out a decent episode.
But we're going to be consistent. You guys, you know, we've been consistent pretty much. We're just...
Yeah, there's going to be some changes for us in the new year. We're looking at new equipment and new...
I don't know what you want to say.
You know, a new host for the podcast.
Some new frontiers we're going to be pushing on. So we're just trying to help you guys out by giving you some good stuff to listen to. You know, we're going to try our hardest and hopefully be able to do some other things you guys will enjoy too. So, But I think that's going to be it, everyone. So until next time...
Keep it creepy.